How's up, y'all? It's Poppin'. It's D. Happy New Year. I'm here to react to this Jamar vid. This could be the end of Andrew Tate. I did hear something about him being in jail or something. I guess, them charges caught up to him because people were telling me that, he was getting accused of doing a lot of trifling shit. So maybe, one of those charges came to bite him in the ass. I don't know what's going on, but let's find out. Let's watch.
Yo, guys, so before the video starts, I just...
I saw this includes tape promotion at the top left.
A couple of months since with Adam and Eve using code Jamari. So it's been a couple of months since I made my last video on Andrew Tate, and since then he had still been going somewhat viral as he relaxed his approach a bit in order to be more exact when getting his point across.
I say that life as a man is exceptionally difficult. I say the most beautiful and the most terrifying thing about being a man is you're born without value. Society doesn't care about you. You're only going to be cared about based on how useful you are. You have the chance to build yourself up and become a superhero if you're prepared to do the hard work.
I don't care about nobody.
Never quit. But if you're going to stand around and wait for a handout, nobody's going to ever respect you. And I think that a lot of people have forgotten about how difficult and how competitive it is as a man. We're always in constant competition with each other. And it's your duty as a man to stand up and say, I want to be as important and strong and good-hearted and God-fearing as possible, and I need to work hard to achieve those things.
Regardless, his popularity had been stagnating since his ban in August of last year, but with this most recent drama he has been involved in, he has become the mainstream topic of conversation once again, as everyone and their mothers have weighed in with their opinions. You see, Andrew Tate was recently detained by Romanian authorities after an exchange on Twitter with Greta Thunberg of all people. And I'm sure a lot of you guys are thinking, how is Andrew Tate on Twitter? I thought he was banned. Well, free speech absolutist, unless you're talking about him of course, Elon Musk, took the due diligence of unbanning Cobra Tate on Twitter last month. And since then, Andrew has been up to his usual shtick, which is basically trolling poor people, aka brokies, and bragging about how amazing his life is.
You cannot stop. You cannot give up. You're in the most fantastic place on the planet for making money, Hustle's University, and the only person who could ruin that is you. Most of you are happy to be losers part-time. If I were to tell you that there are ways of making money which are so foreign to you, so alien that you've never even heard of them, you sit there and go, no, possibly that can't be true. I probably have heard of it. If you've heard of it, why are you still broke? Do you think all the other people in these $50 million houses are just working a job?
So he had been doing that for the last few weeks, and then he put out this tweet to Greta Thunberg, bragging about the enormous emissions from his 33 cars he owns. Obviously, Greta Thunberg has been popular for years now for being the kid who is a huge activist when it comes to global warming and environmental stuff like that. But she's now 19 years old and responded to Tate by basically saying that he has small dick energy. And this tweet went absolutely crazy, as it currently has over 287 million views, over 3.9 million likes, and 570,000 retweets. And obviously Andrew is no stranger when it comes to these online battles, and he always takes the opportunity to strike while the kettle is hot and continue the interaction so that he can farm as many impressions as possible. So he then shared this video reply to her small dick energy tweet.
I'm obviously a stranger to online controversy. It's not something I often do. But now, the mainstream press is commenting on the fact that I was informing Greta that my very extensive car collection with internal combustion engines, which run on dead dinosaurs, had an enormous emission profile. And she replied by telling me her own email address. Greta's email address is, I have small dick energy. Why would that be your own email address, Greta? Strange. I mean, also, I don't want to assume her gender. It's 50-50. Please bring me pizza and make sure that these boxes are not recycled. So I'm actually mad at Greta, right? Because she doesn't realize she's been programmed. She doesn't realize she's a slave of the Matrix. She thinks she's doing good. Someone has sat her down and convinced her to try and convince you to beg your government to tax you into poverty to stop the sun from being hot. Welcome to a new episode of The Clown Show. But now I know, at least, that Greta, with a little hate-filled face, bitter, sitting somewhere without the heating on, in the cold, a little hat, shivering, used my tweets, which is going to make my Twitter account far more fun into eternity.
So basically, he's just doing more trolling here. And there was actually a lot of speculation online that this pizza box right here is how Romanian authorities knew where Andrew was. And basically, they knew that if he was there right now, it must be time to raid his compound and detain him. But this speculation turned out to be a false narrative. Either way, both him and his brother Tristan were detained.
The Matrix has attacked.
Prosecutors are allegedly pursuing claims of human trafficking. And based on these pictures, Andrew didn't really think it was a big deal. I mean, just listen to what his lawyer has to say about the whole thing.
Court issued an arrest warrant for 30 days. We've appealed it. The court will decide after the appeal what the final solution is. Well, we are not at a stage where guilt or innocence is proven. For now, we only discuss preventive measures and the opportunity of taking certain measures. Guilt was not discussed. In my opinion, in the best possible way, from a defense perspective, from our perspective, there are no grounds for taking the most drastic preventive measures provided by the Criminal Procedure Code. But the judge has the prerogative to pronounce a solution, one that we have appealed, and we will see the solution after the appeal. Yes, for each of them. Yes, including them. Have a good evening.
So like he said, these guys will apparently be detained for at least 30 days as their webcam business is under investigation. For those of you who don't know, these brothers made a fortune when they founded one of these websites where lonely, desperate men shell out their paychecks to see women do and say disgusting things on a live video camera. Based on this article, they are alleging that Andrew Tate and his brother Tristan, along with 2 other men, ran a criminal ring where they would mislead women into thinking they were in a relationship or even wanting to get married to them. And then they would take them over to Romania and essentially force them to work for their website. They're saying that there are 6 possible victims who were exploited in this way, and so that's what apparently is going to be taking place now, is an investigation looking into these claims.
Yikes.
I do find it very interesting how this guy Andrew Tate gets so many people to be so emotionally invested in what he does. On one hand, you have all these fatherless guys who see him as some sort of god who can do no wrong. And on the other hand, you have what's mainly a lot of women who think he's basically the devil. Personally, I just see him as an online entertainer who is a genius at digital marketing. I do find it ironic that his entire shtick is that he's here to help lonely men navigate the world, when he quite literally made his fortune targeting this demographic and exploiting them for his own financial gain. He's not shy about this either, saying that basically it's their problem, not mine, and he knows that his website is a scam. Basically, the business model is that they run this studio where they've had up to 75 women working for them at once, and these quote-unquote fans, aka sad desperate losers, call these women paying $4 a minute to talk to them.
$4 a minute.
Models all have these fake sob stories, like maybe they have a dream of going to college, or they have a family member who needs surgery, maybe a sick dog, and apparently some even pretend they want to meet up with the loser of the day they've been chatting with. Over time, some of these losers even develop feelings and a relationship with these girls, and they tip them thousands of dollars to keep their undivided attention away from another loser. It's essentially like paying for a woman to pay attention to you.
You're just the losers, just laughing and doing this, their titties out, and they were talking to f***ing ice-cold hustlers. We were taking their money, all of it. I had these guys selling their houses, life savings, loans, all of it to me. Give me it all. You'd have a guy.
Feel bad or no?
Fuck no. Give a solitary fuck.
And the funniest part about the whole thing is that these women weren't even the ones talking to them. Their keyboards weren't even plugged in. It's like when you let your little cousin think he's playing the game, and in all actuality, they had these guys in the back typing to these creeps, making them fall in love.
The women who were on stream were beautiful, but they didn't have a fucking clue what to say. They were saying all the wrong shit, man. Every day they were saying the wrong shit, and we were losing customers. You can't be a 10 talking about how you've been to Dubai to some dude in Minnesota who's fat. He ain't gonna ever believe that he's gonna get you that way. You gotta lie to him. Make him think that if he's serious about you, that nothing else matters. You gotta put a famoose on it. So I'm trying to teach these women, and the women kept f***ing it up. So I said to them, it's like, you know what? I'm taking over. So what I did is I unplugged their keyboards and plugged a new one in for me behind the screen. So the chicks would sit there and hit a keyboard that wasn't plugged in.
Not you.
And me and my brother, and eventually some staff I trained, would do all the talking.
And so 6 of these so-called models are the ones alleging these crimes against them, basically saying that they kept them and made them work in this business against their will. And I will say there are other women that have testified and said that the Tate brothers and them have broke bread together and helped them make a lot of money. So we will see what happens with all this. Andrew has definitely taken time to really get more popularity as he's still going on about the Matrix trying to do him in, and how it's all one big conspiracy from the Matrix to silence this bald man. I'm not sure if it's him tweeting this from some type of Goodfellas prison, or maybe it's just someone from his camp that's tweeting out these messages to get his fanboys all juiced up. So we'll see what happens, but either way, whether he walks away a free man or gets thrown in jail, there will obviously be riots out here in these internet streets. Personally, I look forward to sitting back and watching the show. Y'all let me know what you guys think about this.
That is fucked up. Nah, he ain't shit. Why would you do that? He's bragging. I had these men selling their houses and giving up their life savings to me. Like, that is so trifling. And you just think this shit is all fun and games. But now, look, karma ain't no hoe. Karma came back to bite you in the ass, and now you sitting in somebody's jail cell. This is hella trifling. I remember people were telling me that he had some sex trafficking shit going on. But, you know, I didn't know anything about it. I didn't even bother to look it up. I was just like, look, I don't know nothing about this nigga, whatever. Because I don't care about him. I don't. But apparently there was some validity in what people were saying. He clearly is on some trifling shit. This is fucked up. I believe it. Based on what he's saying, he doesn't seem to care about other people. He cares about putting money in his pockets. He does not care about people's lives being ruined, if they're hurt, if they lose everything. He doesn't care. So this leads me to believe that these allegations might be true. So there's that. But we'll see what happens. Anyway, y'all let me know what y'all thought. Let me know what other videos you want to watch, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye!